If you out there, anyone out there has friends, anyone out there who has a buddy, an aunt, a family member, a son or a daughter, and they can't get established, there's probably a few reasons why. What is the true value that you get on a day-to-day basis from that company? The problem is that the new agents who come into this business, they chase a brand. That brand isn't going to save them. They think that brand's going to get them business. It doesn't. Welcome back to another episode of Moving Sucks. I am Seth, your host, and today is one that is near and dear to my heart, and I am finding more and more of these situations arising. And we're not going to talk about houses, and we're not going to talk about clients. We're going to talk about realtors, and it is going to be more and more common as the housing market slows down. We've talked a lot about on this podcast about how transactions went from about 6 to 4 million. So that's basically a 30%, 35% drop in volume. What that means, though, is less transactions. And so if you did not get established before, let's say 2020, 2021, you are going to be in a little bit of trouble because now there is a real big constriction of transactions. Now, being established is different for everybody. People have different goals. People think, oh, well, I'm going to do 3 deals a year. Some people will want to do 30 deals a year. Some people have families to support. Some people just want to pick up pocket change. There's different levels of intensity, different goals, different trajectories. Most people, though, when they get into real estate, they are looking for it to be more of a permanent gig. They want to be active. They want to do well. And I am seeing over and over and over again, young agents, new agents, they don't even have to be young. They are getting wiped out. And I take a lot of pride in my current team right now. They have absolutely dug in. They are doing what they're supposed to do. Jen, obviously, she's not new. She's well established. But back in the day, she did what I told her that she needed to do. And so if you out there, anyone out there has friends, anyone out there who has a buddy, an aunt, a family member, a son or a daughter, and they can't get established, there's probably a few reasons why. And on this podcast, we have talked about the idea that the brokerage is kind of obsolete. The brokerage doesn't really serve the same purpose it did back in the day. But real estate is old and slow, and the industry is the same way. The companies, the KWs, the Coldwell Bankers, the old head agencies, well, they're awesome. They're great in terms of housing some great agents. But what we call the value proposition, what is the actual value that even the brokerage I'm at? What is the true value that you get on a day-to-day basis from that company? And the problem is that the new agents who come into this business, they chase a brand. But that brand isn't going to save them. They think that brand's going to get them business. It doesn't. Action gets them business. Environment and the ecosystem that they place themselves in will get them that business. So we've talked about on this pod before about how the value proposition has largely left the brokerage and has gone down to the team and the team leader, the real estate team. And so I get on weekly mastermind calls with people from all over the country. And, there's new agents who get on and they're like, we don't know what to do. And I immediately ask the one question is, are you on a team? Do you have someone that you talk to about real estate every day? And the people that struggle versus the people who don't, it's almost 1-to-1. The people who are on a team or the people who aren't on a team versus the people that are on a team. And so there's a little bit of a divergent topic, but I think it's important because there's a lot of people out there who care about their friends and family who are trying to make it in this business. And I was fortunate enough to get advice when I first came into this business in 2015 to join a team. There were still a lot of independent energy in the industry where it was like, well, you should just go out on your own. Team leaders, they don't offer any support. They're going to take all your money when you do get a lead. But I realized that I didn't know everything and I didn't want to have to learn everything on my own, although I learned a ton on my own. But I was still in proximity with a group or a team from the very beginning of my real estate career. Now, when I started my own team, it was really important to me to foster even more accountability, more community, more guidance and mentorship. First of all, I learned a ton by teaching, but also I wanted to really take care of my agents. So during COVID, I started this big team. It was very busy and it was very disorganized. I have some regrets from that time. I wasn't able to provide the support that I needed to provide to the people that were on my team, and there were also just some personalities that weren't the right fit. So what I did is I constricted my team down in 2023, and I've rebuilt very slowly. Jen being the only one left from the old big team, and now we have two other agents that we have brought up. But I have been talking a lot to them about why they've been so successful in such a short amount of time. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? I'm very introspective, and so then I started thinking like, man, like there's a lot of agents out there who are going to be struggling, and they are struggling. And I talk to people all over the country, team leaders all over the country, and they can't get their people out of the muck. And so even if you are on a team, that's not going to save you. The only person that's going to save a realtor in their business is them. But I see a lot of people chasing the money, meaning they don't want to join a team because they don't want splits. They don't want any money taken out of their commission, but 100% of zero is nothing, So, so the lack of structure and lack of accountability is a really big thing. We do daily huddles every day to make sure that we're on track. We have chats, we have Trello boards, we have project management software, we have CRMs, we have all kinds of stuff, all kinds of tools to keep our head in the game. If you have 5 realtors all scattered everywhere, or you have 5 independent and you're a broker and you have 5 independent agents scattered everywhere, you're largely relying on them to take action and be motivated every single day. And as a team leader, I'm not motivated every single day. My problem is that I have so much business that I have to work. Like if I don't work, it's all going to be waiting for me. So that is kind of my motivation, but that is the opposite for most new agents. So that is like, for me, is like the first like pillar, is that you have to have structure, you have to have platforms, you have to have accountability, because it's a 1099 gig. You just eat what you kill, and no one's going to be sitting there saying, hey, like you have to do this, you have to do that, because you're 1099. And also the personality of the agent who's really good doesn't want to be told what to do all the time, but they're smart enough to know that they need to be told what to do some of the time. The other thing that the new agent needs are reps. Okay. They need reps, meaning they need real estate conversations to like learn their real estate voice. Okay. So, if you are a new agent and you have no idea how to generate those conversations, you should join a team, because a team, even if the splits are terrible and they take all your money at the end, you're at least getting those conversations in. You're getting out the property. You're having interactions with consumers. You're overcoming objections. You're figuring out how to solve problems. And you're also building confidence and competence at the same time. So in the end, it is really important that you join some entity, whether it's a team or a mastermind or something that provides leads, so you can actually find your voice. You can shake me awake in the middle of the night and I can onboard a client. I don't even have to think about it. So in the end, it is really, really important not to be out on an island. And if you have a family member or some kind of a friend who got in the business and everyone's all rah in the beginning, and then you never hear from them again, odds are they are stranded somewhere, whether psychologically, mentally, even physically, and they're not even on a team. Generally, the American consumer has 3.1 realtors saved in their phone. So even if you do get your license, they're not going to care. They'll care and they'll be supporting you, but do they support you so much that they trust you with a large asset like a real estate transaction? or do they trust you to refer or to refer your name to somebody? Because after all, referral is just an extension of their reputation. I'm not sure. But if they see that you're active, like one of the young gentlemen on our team, Brandon, he's been active in deals. He's posting on social media. He's documenting what he's doing. And now people are starting to call him and be like, oh, this is like a real thing. You're doing this. And that trust builds. And then eventually he won't need leads. He'll have his own business. The skill development also is a big, big piece of the pie. Understanding infrastructure, understanding how to have conversations, negotiation, understanding inspection reports, title, understanding loan products. Like people sit there and say that real estate is just filling out paperwork. And every time they say that, I want to punch them in the face because it is anything but paperwork. That is like the first thing a good realtor delegates off. Paperwork is not what we do. We solve problems. And you having an agent having an ecosystem where not only are they not, even if they're not having to do it themselves, but they are hearing about how other people are doing it in their market, like with people that they would work with generally, that is very, very powerful. So getting in that ecosystem, overhearing those things, and it's fine to join a mastermind. You can, there's a lot of brokerages out there. It's like join our national mastermind. It's all this information, but it's like the intricacies and the nuance of a market like Philadelphia is different than the one in Jacksonville, Florida, and it's different than Salt Lake City and from Seattle. So being able to be really hyper focused in your neighborhood, in your general region here, is allows you to just supercharge and get relatability. So when you do get clients, it all comes much more naturally. So, but also understanding compliance and like keeping you out of real estate prison, and making sure your clients are well served. Good teams and good mentors they have tools, they've got sheets, they've got questionnaires, they've got preferred vendor lists. They've got all kinds of things that you can't get access to if you're out on an island. So just wanted to hop on here and just kind of talk about it's obvious. I mean, the implication I would think is obvious. If you are out there and you are looking for a real estate agent, you should not be hiring somebody who just got licensed. And I shouldn't say that because I love new agents. I really do. But you really shouldn't do that because it is, unless you're really experienced in real estate, like transactions already, you're older, you've had lots of reps, you really should not think about hiring somebody who's like newly licensed. And it's really hard because sometimes it's like makes for awkward conversation at Thanksgiving. But you can hire that new agent if they're on a team because they have the support, and you would just be explicit. Like, listen, I know that you're new. I know that and I want to use you. I want to support you, but is there someone else in your brokerage or someone else who can help with the transaction? Because I just want to make sure everything's buttoned up. And that goes for buying a property and selling a property. So if you are out there and you're a new agent, or you're somebody who's thinking about getting licensed and you want to enter into this industry in the right way, and you want the fastest way to success, hitch to someone else's wagon. Make sure that you have someone who's going to give you accountability, mentorship, tools, structure, systems, everything, because this business is not as complicated as a lot of people make it out to be. And there's a lot of agents who figured out how to make this a lot simpler because they've had to be in order to scale their business. There's no reason you shouldn't just glom onto that. Yes, if you go onto a team, the odds are you're going to have more money taken out, but that also shows a seriousness that you are ready to commit to learning how to do this business the right way. Philadelphia area, we are actually in the market for a real estate agent. But if you are somewhere else out in the middle of nowhere, or you are in a major city and you want to get hooked up and you're out on your own right now, or you have a friend or a family member who is licensed and you feel like they're just kind of out on an island, they don't know what they're doing. I have agents all over the place. I love to matchmake and help people build teams and help out new agents. So, but that's all I got for you today. I appreciate it. Next week, I am hopeful Jen will be back. She has been extremely busy with her business, and I've been kind of holding down the fort here. And if anyone out there in the Philadelphia area knows an agent, or if you are an agent and you want to chat about a real team with real systems and really nice splits, meaning like we don't take all your money, that's a conversation we want to have. So hop into the comments or hit us up on Instagram at Moving Sucks Podcast. And we will talk to you next week. See ya.